I used to say that I like the little round table aspect of having both voices there talking and people from both sides debating and just having talks. But then I started thinking about it. I was listening to Angela Rye. If y'all know Angela Rye, she is a political strategist, and she frequents the Breakfast Club a lot. And she used to be on CNN a lot when Don Lemon was here, but she hasn't been on in a long time. So she showed up on the round table, the Abby Phillips show, Newsnight, and she was there, and Kevin O'Leary was there. She had a rough panel, and Angela's very outspoken. If y'all know her, she's a black woman, and she's very smart. She knows politics well. She works very hard in campaigns and everything. She's a progressive type, and she was saying how she didn't miss being on a round table show like that because she goes, it's not really doing any good. It's just a bunch of people sitting here going back and forth at each other, and what good is it doing? She's like, what good is it doing? What good is it doing? We're just sitting here talking to each other, but are we really making change? And then I started thinking about it. She's kind of right, because you look at these shows and you see everybody's giving their points, but is anybody's mind being changed for the American people to get things done? So I had to look back and think about journalists and how mainstream journalism has just changed, and how I don't believe that they're doing the job that they need to do as humans, not as journalists. And I think they're failing America. So I kind of sat down and wrote some things up on to end this podcast, a commentary on what I feel that American mainstream news has done, it's doing, or needs to do, because I believe they have failed the American people. So how mainstream news is failing the American people, there was a time when the nightly news felt like a national town hall, a place where facts were sacred and the role of journalism was clear. Inform the public, hold the people accountable, and shine a light on truth. Hold the powerful accountable, I should say, and shine a light on truth. But that mission in many corners of the mainstream media has been diluted, compromised, and in some cases completely abandoned. Today we find ourselves in a media landscape where the obsession with the balance, which I hate, often comes at the expense of truth, and the need to appear neutral overrides the duty to stand firmly on the side of humanity, justice, and democracy. So let's just be honest. Mainstream news is failing the American people. They are. Whether it's climate change, voter suppression, the erosion of civil rights, or the normalization of political extremism, the press continues to frame these deeply moral and existential issues as if they are mere points in a political debate. This is not a debate. This is not a debate. This is not fun TV that y'all are making it. Like we're watching a sport instead of confronting life and death realities. Journalists have been taught to give both sides a voice. I realize that's what you've been taught. But when one side is spewing misinformation, sowing division, or attacking basic human rights, presenting it with equal weight as truth is not balance. It's complicity. Complicity. In this era of disinformation and polarization, the role of the journalist is more important than ever. Not as a detached referee, but as a steward of the public trust. We don't need referees. We need every voice. You're smart people, and y'all are still there playing the middle game, not doing any good. Just a waste of time. The media is not required to stay neutral in the face of hate. They're not required. I don't care what you were taught as journalists. You're not required. You can take a stand. And it seems that the people that are taking the stand are the ones that are getting let go and fired. And sometimes you have to do that. I know you want your jobs and whatever, but standing up for what's right is important, journalists. Now, they are not obligated to platform lies just because someone with a title said to them. They are not responsible for making every issue seem equally valid when one side is rooted in fact and the other is a campaign of distortion. So, what is the responsibility of the mainstream media in these times? What do you think? I think it's simple, yet profoundly urgent, to tell the truth without false equivalency. Not all opinions deserve airtime. If you're putting people on that you know they're lying, like Donald Trump, he doesn't deserve airtime. Covering his things, his press conference where he's lying, we don't need to cover that. Some news cycles have done that. They have just turned away from it because he's just going to be lying. We don't have to cover him. I don't care if he is the president, but you don't have to do that. And I'm talking to not only the journalists. I know you don't have a lot of power, but I'm talking to you news executives, editors in those rooms. I come from newspaper. I know how stories get to the floor. There's a bunch of you that are in the room making decisions. Not every statement is up for debate. If one side says the sky is blue and the other side it's green, the job of the journalist is not to quote both sides and shrug. It's to look up and report the color of the damn sky. The sky is blue. And if you're allowing somebody to tell you that the sky is green and you're going to listen to them, that's wasting time. To protect democracy, let's not play political games. Covering attacks on democratic institutions like they're just another day in Washington is a disservice to the public. Did y'all hear that? It's a disservice to the public. The media should sound the alarm, not normalize the fire. I like that. To stand for decency and humanity. When policies are harming people, children in cages, citizens stripped of voting rights, families bankrupt by healthcare costs, the media should not be neutral. Do y'all hear that? Do y'all hear me? Do y'all hear me? They should be advocates for human dignity and justice. They're there to elevate voices, not just to amplify power. We don't need more panels with paid pundits spinning talking points. We need more stories from everyday Americans whose lives are impacted by the policies being debated behind closed doors. The truth is, journalists do have a moral obligation. They're not robots, nor are they props in some false theater of objectivity. They are human beings with platforms, and that platform comes with responsibility, especially when common decency, truth, and democracy are under attack. To the mainstream media, this is me. The times have changed. The stakes are higher, and history is watching. Do your job. But more importantly, do it right. Yeah. So those are just thoughts on the top of my head that I had put together and written down. And I was just thinking how I'm looking at mainstream news totally different now because I'm sitting there going, they're not doing any good. As long as you both sides, I don't need to hear when you know that Trump is spewing lies or Republicans are spewing lies and there's no truth to it. Why do we have to hear the other side? Get on there. Give me real people who know what this stuff is affecting them. That's truth telling. You don't have to do anything. Just get them there. But what we're doing right now, it's not helping at all. It's putting disinformation out there, and it's causing a podcast mania. I'm one of those who are out here thinking we're telling the truth. I'm telling the truth. I don't ever want to both sides anything. I just want to speak the truth. I'm not giving hate. I'm not giving that the benefit of that. I'm not giving that any energy. I'm not a journalist. But I'm a person who has thoughts, who knows what's right, and I believe that journalists need to step up to the plate. The stakes are higher. I'll say that again. History is watching. Do your job. But more importantly, do it right.